Hi, everybody. Good morning. I miss jewelry talk. I miss talking to all you guys here. I've got on my jewelry and I am fresh back from Morocco. Oh my gosh. So good morning, good morning. Let me make sure. Oh, here we are. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was online. Oh my gosh, you guys. I really miss Sherry's here. We probably miss each other, right, Sherry? Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. We had such an amazing time. I think our whole group, we had a hard time being away from each other, right? Oh my God, there's Christina. And then hopefully I'll be able to talk to Christina soon because, good morning everybody. 12 o'clock noon, I feel so good and transformed. You know when you do one of those hi from Peru. Nice to see you, Claudia. And welcome to all the brand new intentional metalsmithing students. And thank you guys so much for On the Surface. The course that new class that I just put out, On the Surface. It's so interesting because our course, On the Surface, as we were all over Morocco looking at all this gorgeous jewelry. Hi, Joni. I actually realized that we knew how to build all of the pieces that we saw. Oh, Sherry's still out in Barcelona. You guys, Sherry was out in Morocco with us, and I can tell you guys, and Sandy's here. Nice to see you. Oh my gosh, you guys. So nice to see you guys. Welcome back. So Sandy was out in Morocco before I even went, and there was just so many good things that I heard about it, and this trip went well beyond my expectations. What a beautiful, you know how it's like our government has been warning us. Oh, new class. Okay, Christina will tag you on that one. So, our government was warning us that we have to be careful because of terrorism and COVID and all of this. And we landed there, and I have never met a kinder culture and group of people, I don't think ever. Right, Sherry? I felt so invited, so many smiles everyone had in our group. And not only just our group, so we could relax. We could really relax within our group, And Michelle, who I forgot to bring my microphone, but Michelle, I'm going to actually interview her, and you guys will get to hear from her. She put together this whole trip. She met us at her beautiful Riyadh with a band that just, this band and drumming is just part of the culture of music. We had a night where we danced. And I can tell you guys that it's so interesting because it's like here in the United States, we have these musicians. Like we're musicians, we're trained in, the flute, or we're trained in the guitar, we're trained songwriting. And it was so interesting for me to see. We spent a lot of time, hi Deb. We spent a lot of time with Berber, which is more of like the European kind of a forced name that we put on them. The other name isn't coming to me offhand. But the Berber people, we spent so much time with in Morocco. And, really there's so much, here I have my henna just disappearing. But this last one she gave me was very Berber symbolism with hearts, opening the heart and all of that type of stuff. So it was really interesting. I loved it. But so the Berber people have all types of symbolism in their work and in their daily practice and in their daily life and all of this, which was so fun to be a part of. It was so interesting and so profound. I don't mean to say fun, but I mean so profound. Friends who live in villages, like you just grow up drumming, right? We were treated like queens. The Moroccans are very warm and inviting, Sherry says. Very warm and inviting. And it's like, so the musicians that we got to see and hear perform, they grew up playing guitars. They grew up playing drums. It wasn't like, hey, let's learn how to drum. They grew up. It's just part of their culture. So when this band came together that were drummers and musicians and percussions, they have been doing this since they were little babies, and their parents have been doing it, and their parents and their ancestors and so on. So it was so interesting to see these group evolve, and we have I'll be able to pass on to you guys this band that came to us, and we danced all night long, right? Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. So one of the most beautiful and profound things, you know what, seriously, when we went to the desert, I have never had such loud silence in all of my life. We went way out, way out. And it literally, the Sahara Desert is the ocean floor. It used to be the ocean floor. And it's hard to imagine that the whole ocean evaporated. Isn't that crazy to think of? It's like, when we talk about climate change, we could see it firsthand where this whole desert disappeared. So isn't that kind of crazy? Oh my gosh. But it was so beautiful. So out in this desert, it's so quiet. And then you hear the drumming at night because it's just part of what this culture is. For me, it's like, this is Jewelry Talk, Susan Leonard here. And I always, my work stems from talking about cultures and just different ways that people do things, history, symbolism, all of this at the core. So, for me, it is very profound to go out to these different places and out to these different countries and experience raw. One of the things I loved about Morocco is that it still is intact as a culture. Like we're so homogenized. We're getting so homogenized, and maybe Morocco will be there in a few years, maybe 5 or 6 years, too. So I was really wanting to get there. It's like, I remember going to Thailand way years ago, before it was homogenized. And it was so profound to see separations in cultures and just really people coming from their heart. And that's what we did get to see out there. Oh my God, I saw a cobra. And we got to ride in camels and talk about just being, there's, such spotty internet, and you're just out in the desert and you're eating food from the desert. And we stayed in a tent, and the last morning it was tangine. That was always when we get into a photo, it'd be tangine, which is the food that we had a lot of there. Somebody was in Morocco, right? Oh my gosh. Oh, there's Mary Jo here. Hi, you guys. Nice to see you guys. So thank you for joining me today, but we did have a fabulous trip. I realized, I think, as I was taking out my things, I mentioned earlier that, I started the first part of this course on the surface, and I actually just released it for pre-signups, and it's a better price right now. So thank you guys who signed up, and I'm going to be having that out very, very soon. And I actually just bought a couple pieces of jewelry, which I kind of kicked myself for. I ended up buying all of this symbolic leather work out there. I just bought so much leather out there, and a Berber rug. But I wanted to show you guys this piece here. This one is actually, so you saw the Berber, we saw a lot of the Berber out there, and then the other type of work that we saw out there is the, oh my gosh, I'm getting my brain is still a little bit off, but I'll think of it before I end up talking. But this one here, these are actually worn as jewelry, as a necklace, and it actually holds all of your important things. So it's, worn this way, and it's your purse, your bag, and you can pull down on it and, end up being able to open a lot of these too. This is the Tuareg. So this is Tuareg. So when you would shop anywhere in the market, they would tell you this is Tuareg, this is Berber. There was so many Berber people, so many Tuareg people that we met that were in these markets. So, just the symbolism and the colors, and this is an old bag, and I love this. I love the idea that it's worn in the front, although I probably myself will wear it on the side. Why not, right guys? So, I may go in 20. Okay, so you guys, I want to tell Paulette, you should come. So as we took this trip, we spent a lot of time together. We had an incredible group of people. We did a little bit of yoga. We did a lot of meditation. We did our workshop. But one thing I realized is that when we go March of 21, I'm doing a workshop, and I'm not sure who's sticking and who's not sticking, may be open, may not be open. So think about it if anyone is interested. We found that our trip was so much just about all of the fabulous places we went to. It's hard. Oh, thank you. I know, Deb. So, we went to so many places. We spent time on the ocean, which was incredible. We ended up having a full moon there. So we had our full moon ceremony right when we're on the ocean. And it's so beautiful. We got to sit outside and have our wine and have our dinner. And every place that we went to, that was Eswara. I know sometimes I pronounce things wrong. Eswara, and we're thinking about going for 2 nights. In March, we actually were able to tour these beautiful, beautiful, old, ancient. There was this Casbah that was created of mud from like the 11th century. And we walked through there, and it was so interesting to see. And we're actually going to do an overnight there in March. The person who owns it and kind of toured us there told us that people go there to have visions, right? Isn't that interesting, just to see what your dreams are? And I remember I asked him, because it's so dark, it's that traditional architecture that's open and light on the inside, where, your meeting places are really up to the sky, open and light, and then the rooms are so dark. So it's so interesting because I asked him, how did people know when to wake up in the morning, right? Because I'm from America, we're used to, our history was the roosters waking you up, the cows waking you up, you had to get up early, do your work. So I said, how do you know when to wake up when your room is pitch black? And he's like, why do you have to wake up? Right? Isn't that an interesting statement for an American? Why do you have to wake up in the morning? Just wake up when you want to. So, in the country and different areas like that, it was really nice to see, such a mellow, oh my gosh, just kind of living in the moment. People living in the moment, you know what I mean? So it was really beautiful to see. This is one of the pieces that I brought back, just a tiny one. I really had my eye on some larger pieces. I think I'm gonna do it when I get back there in March, but you can see the back of it, so it's like in tracing some of these pieces out. I know, isn't that beautiful? But this is all on the surface. So this work that we're doing on the surface, like this, is all, inspired by the Moroccan. And you could see this piece here. This is actually a pair of earrings that I bought. I love, look at how there's coral embedded in here. A lot of times it's glass. Glass is used a lot of times in these areas here. But one of the things I loved about these pieces is the next part of the course, the next work that I'm working on really is all these open forms like this, of twisted wire, open forms, so inspiring, just using forms that are open and soldering them together. So it was really fun just to be there, do this type of work. I think in March I'm switching it up a little bit. I'm actually, from my visit there, I realized, oh, hi, I missed everybody here. I really did on Jewelry Talk. So I was super excited about getting back on, even if I thought I'd pop on for a little bit. I'm still, luckily I came back to a clean studio. Oh, do you guys want to see what I got there? I'm in heaven. I bought so much of it. This is my big buy. Sherry actually has some Kona shells that she's going to be selling to the group. I didn't want to buy a bunch of Kona shells because Sherry bought a whole bunch, and she's going to put it up on the Friday sale. I don't know if you're doing it this Friday or what, but she's going to have some gorgeous Kona shells. A lot of my new work will be, Arabic art. So you know what, you guys, it's interesting because one thing we learned, we actually learned that, it was so foreign to me going into a country where there's Arabic words first, but also to have such kind people. And the men really, the women really stay together, but they're like, we have fun, we raise our children, we did this hammam where we all were scrubbed. So we all went in, and women scrub women. So you just strip down naked, you're scrubbed everywhere, you're appalled to see what type of skin is rolling off your body, because we're used to our own showers, right? Where we go into showers and we scrub ourselves, but how hard are we really going to scrub ourselves? And where can you not reach? You have to do some good yoga to hit all the places scrubbing. So this hammam that we went to, it's just like a really coarse gloves that they have on, and you're scrubbed everywhere, and you're seeing rolls, and then you get a mask put on you, and you sit for about 30 minutes, and then you get like oils put on you, and you sit and lay, and then you're like scrubbed after all this, and you're seeing rolls of old skin come off your body. So if I look fresh, that's why. So, and then we went into a massage after that. So it was really Oh my gosh, the hammam, and you go into nice cool water. So it's really interesting, just the different culture that I got to experience, and I'm so grateful for it because cultures are such a big part of my work. So I'm gonna keep you guys posted for March. I know there's some people signed up. Yeah, Sherry's gonna put the Kona shells on next week. She bought beautiful ones. I got to grab some from her. So my work, when I was on this trip, I was like, I can see my work going back to raw. And I told you guys, I'm gonna have this up on my sale. I'm having a big, I have such beautiful components that are going on. I think it's right around Christmas when I also release my book. But check out, this is just a tiny bit of what I have for these fossils. Let me show you guys these fossils close up, because these fossils, they are like, oh my God, they're so gorgeous. They're like, look, they're like granulation on the sides. We used to call them crinoids, but I can't really remember the name of these, but look at the granulation on these pieces. Tiny, gorgeous, gorgeous. These I bought, I didn't find on the ocean. You're not gonna find, I don't think you're gonna find stuff like this, but I don't even mind. They're so beautiful. So to me, I'm always thinking, you want the shabby with the gems. So since I use so many gems, I'm really excited about, they're so strong. They're not dusty. They don't rub off. They're ancient pieces. I love the marks in there. They were stacked up as like spines. There's beautiful pieces that have beautiful holes in them. I'm really excited about working with these pieces. And I'm gonna sell a lot of these off because I do have a lot. I know, I get a lot of these and I'm like, oh my gosh, how can I stand not to keep every one of these, right? But I'll have these on with other components. But mixed with gems, it's like, that look of having something dusty with the gems. It's such a beautiful look. And, I know they're gonna be so good. These are actually fossils that were from the bottom of the ocean, Karen. So these were, I didn't see any there. I didn't collect such beautiful ones as these, so I bought these. But there's even some nice big sizes here, that are really cool. So I wanna put these on bracelets. I'm gonna put them on rings with some gems around it. I think it's gonna be really fun. So I'm excited about working with that. I'm really excited about kind of this found object. When we were walking through Morocco, I think a lot of us, when we got into the workshop, we ended up being so inspired to do found objects. And that's exactly where I'm going with my stuff anyways. I look at the gorgeous tin cans I brought back. So I want to do some cutting work and fossils and gems and Kona shells. And I think when we go in March, it's going to be more of about, we are in so many areas where we could collect and pick up. And so March is going to be more of like collecting and bringing in all of our pieces, getting into the studio. We're going to do some stitching with leather to put together a leather piece. And we'll be using, putting together some of our objects that we have. Michelle wants to do some journal work where we're doing journal prompts on the trip and things like that. So it is, I had such a fabulous time. It was really hard being back here as a lot of us. Look, Sherry joined from Barcelona. Is it the middle of the night for you, Sherry? So the last day I ended up going to Paris, which I loved. And I ended up putting in 20,000 steps. Is that pretty cool or what? 20,000 steps. So I was like, hey, when I get back home, we ate so healthy, so clean. I'm like, when I get back home, I'm going to eat something real junky. So anyway, you guys, what else did I get out there? I'll show you what else I did. It's these beautiful, this is actually a Tuareg piece that I got last, but it's a lot of these for camels. For hanging on the front of the camels. I love this type of work. I bought a beautiful, we were able to ride on a camel. You have a coral piece. I'm saving this. Oh, I'm so glad you're going on the trip in March. Yay, so it's like we felt so safe there. It was really, I think we were just so amazed because I didn't know what to expect, So really, I can assure you guys, I know there was a few people even someone was at my workshop in when I had one in September, and she didn't think markets were open yet. It was beautiful. When we landed there wasn't a lot of people. We went October 15th, and then we just traveled everywhere, and then we went back to Marrakesh, and it was so beautiful. It felt like going back home again. And I was like, oh my gosh, I get the hammams, because we were covered with sand from just riding the camel was amazing. And here's the thing, it's like, yes, we had our camel ride. We went up there at sunset, so the sun was going down. It's the silence, it's the dunes, it's, just all these dunes, and I have never felt such silence. And I realized in March, we're gonna be staying there 2 nights, because our first night, we get there a little bit later, and there's a big campfire, and there's drummers going in the evening, and we have a beautiful dinner, and then we just sit around and just, listen. It's like slowing down and opening your mind, and if you really give yourself a chance to kind of check out, someone even in intentional metalsmithing, there was a student who was writing like, I'm frustrated, I don't know where to go, how do I be inspired? And I was like, oh my gosh, instead of like trying to hunt down something on Pinterest to be inspired for, it's such an amazing opportunity just to check out. And if you can't get to the desert of Morocco, you just check out somewhere else, but you try not to even think about jewelry. You try not to think about, what you're gonna build or any type of stress. Like, really give your body a vacation, even if you're on vacation to Flint, Michigan. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. It was really amazing, but we can all find our own little place here too. You know what I mean? So we definitely can find our place out here. So Sherry says, it was nice to slow down and enjoy the moment. So true. So then we, what we thought we'd do is we slept in this tent that's so dark at night. We all found ourselves, we met up on a dune in the morning. We all found ourselves just lined up on this dune. All of us in the morning watching the sunrise. And we had Sophie there, and she was the one who did our yoga and meditation. We're like, Sophie said, I think we need to do a meditation. We're like, right on. So, oh my gosh, it was beautiful. So, it really was so profound for me. I feel, I collected leather, and I heard stories, and I looked at symbolism, and I watched people, and I communicated the best I can. It's all French there, but people will speak English, and I just tried to slow down and absorb. We took in so much, absorbing it's so crazy to be in all one color of the desert. You know what I mean? To wake up over at Michelle's place. She's gorgeous. I didn't even expect it to be as comforting and gorgeous as it was. And our chef there, Mohammed, was amazing. We hated to leave his food, but it was so amazing to, it was just so amazing to see all of one color, but different shades of it, of that kind of dusty rose color, that dusty desert color of the sands. So sometimes you're looking at buildings that are that color, and the grounds that are that color, and layers of the same color. So, even in art and design, how do you build structure and design when you're using all the same color? It's really, really interesting to think about. Did I see any sand spiders? I didn't. I did see a cobra, but it was at the market. It was really kind of cool to see a cobra. But we saw a snake snake tracks out on the mountain, and there's scorpions there too, but we didn't really run into any. It was beautiful to be barefoot, but you just keep your eyes open to make sure, you see them. This was another piece I got there. Oh my gosh, so inspired by all of the leather. So I just loved, just the small cuts. It's almost like putting a sheet of leather through your paper shredder, right? So, oh my gosh, it was pretty amazing. The market there was amazing. So I have got just different things, not a lot that I wanted to show you guys this one too. We went to this beautiful market out by the silversmithing village. So much to talk about, right guys? Fly swatters. Those are their fly swatters. Yes, they are the fly swatters. Yeah, for the camels too. Isn't that great? But just kind of get them out of the way. So Sandy was out there before I was out in Morocco. And oh, the silversmithing village. It was so important for me to go there. I love, I have the intentional metalsmithing course, and we all know intentional metalsmithing. And I'm grateful for all the new people who have joined and for everybody going on to the next step of On the Surface. And it was, one of the things that I really talked about and I loved seeing when we got to the silversmithing village. And that was just the rustic way that people will use tools, or having limited amount of tools, or having to make every single tool that you're using in your design work, and it was really cool. They were doing casting of pieces, so they take a finished piece in there and they would press it into sand, and then they pour silver into there, but just pressing it in, using clay from the ground, using these metal forms that they put together. So, and one of the scariest things for me was when they poured molten silver into these forms, they literally would have a bare hand there without a glove, and they'd hold it. They're all used to pouring tea though, right, Sherry? Sandy, I learned how to pour tea from up here. It's a skill that you learn to pour your mint tea into the cup. So I think when they're pouring their molten silver, they can get it right into the space they need it to and not have it around the sides. So anyway, they all had nice hands. I was very impressed, but it was so beautiful to see the silver area, just to see different way people work, how they actually at one point were using that pipe solder to solder things down in there, that leaded, not unleaded solder. So it really was interesting for me to see. And it actually is the Jewish people that brought this look of jewelry into the Middle East. So the Jewish people, which is so beautiful, they were very, very, these were the silversmiths, and they actually were really open with their jewelry. She's an amazing skill to pour the Indian silver into the mold. I think it's because they did their tea that way, right, Sherry? So, really to be so open, and the Jewish people trained so many people in building jewelry in silversmithing. So it was pretty profound, to see. And so there were all types of jewelers in all areas, and we didn't really see anyone doing, really doing a lot of this new work, but how inspired could we be? The next time I go in there, I'm buying a really large cross like this. I can't believe I didn't, but I got other things, you know what I mean? So, hi Diane, there is my kindergarten friend. I love you and miss you. I'm just back from Morocco, and I was just telling everybody who, how the time was here with our Moroccan jewelry. Same in Yemen. So we were right up to the Yemen border. The silversmiths were first mainly Jews. Absolutely. So that's what we did find, is that all these beautiful silversmiths really came from this Jewish way of using their tools of on the surface, I call it. Now remember again, the jewelry that I'm teaching in this course on the surface, it really is making it your own. So it's like, for pieces like this, making it your own. So, we kind of follow and go into our own way of, how do we decorate the surfaces of our work and making it our own, you know what I mean? So really beautiful and profound. So, oh my gosh, you guys, I can't tell you how much I enjoyed going. I really am grateful for all the new people in intentional metalsmithing. And I'm going to be meeting with you guys this month, very soon, in a week or so. Oh, thank you, Diane. And oh, hi, Susan. Oh my gosh. And gold too. Absolutely. There was beautiful gold out there. It was so inspiring. So for me though, knowing me, Susan likes gold. I'm going to be back doing my hammered out raw look of using the fossils, so I'm going to have, I'm getting ready. I'm getting things posted on there. My next sale will be at the end of November, right before Thanksgiving, or I think Black Friday or Monday or something like that. You guys will see. And I wanted to let you guys know there was just a person who had to cancel for Mexico. So I do have one space open. I have someone who is thinking about the space, but I don't know if she's going to do it or not. So Richard! Hey, you guys, Richard Sally is on. Hi, Richard. I always talk about you, Richard. And in fact, I was suggesting a friend of mine take some of your workshops who was out there. So Richard is one of my good buddies and my good friend, and he's very talented in all different ways that I'm not talented. You know, it's a nice compliment. Like, I'm real invented and I hammer things out and I'm getting back into my cold joints again. And Richard is, to me, the closest thing to a goldsmith here in the US, I say. So I always push people his way. He's actually teaching in Mexico too. So I have one space that opened up because someone couldn't make it. I think Richard has some spaces too. So, oh my gosh, nice to see you guys. And so it's just about 12:30. I don't want to keep you guys on too long, but I'm so grateful to see you guys. I think that's all I want to say, but oh my gosh, I missed all you guys. I really did. So I really realized how much I love my jewelry talk, you know, and just getting on here again. So I have some cool things coming up, some super cool things coming up, and that I'm not even going to talk about now, but it's, you know, I've been in the motion of doing these new projects and just a lot of new stuff. So it's always good. And I still love my intentional metalsmithing and having everybody with me. I'm in the process of all of this meditational work where I'm working on opening my heart so I really can do a good job with my intentional metalsmithing course and be there and really mentor people in their work, because that's what I love to do. Oh, there was beautiful beadwork. Well, okay, so the top of this piece was some beadwork too. You know, not like a ton of beadwork, but this was for the camel, which I loved. There was a lot of coral, you know, of course, because that was an ocean floor. I imagine it was like it was so profound to see miles and miles and thousands of miles of ocean floor that was dried up, you know, and I'm like, oh my gosh, at one time it must have been so fertile. And so our group, we're still writing to each other. We still really miss each other. And Sherry, a lot of it's still sinking in. So, oh my gosh, here's Sophie writing now. So, all right, you guys. Well, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here today. I'm getting ready in my studio. I'm going to try to get some time in behind. I have a Jewish prayer that's on a stick that I'm going to keep near me and see how this feels for me. It's just all these different words on there. Isn't that a great idea for paper? It's your prayers, it's your stuff, and I'm going to keep this on my desk and see how it feels, see if this fits me. Oh, well, thank you guys so much for being here today. I came into a clean studio, so I'm going to try to get all new work done. So remember, three times a week being in your studio if you're an IM, and just really try to get that inventive work going. Oh my gosh. Mwah. So happy to see you guys, and we'll see you soon. Okay, let's get out.